Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Power Hour. I am going to give everybody a chance to pop on, text your team, text your newbies, let them know that we are here because we have a really, really exciting call today. I am sitting out in my living room next to the fireplace. I love to do power hours in my cozy spot because why not? My name is Denise Walsh, and I've been a part of this company for 12 years, for 12 years. And I love our times every single Sunday night just to get together. We do a lot of different things. So we'll do power hours where we essentially get ready for the week. We'll prepare our posts. We will follow up with people, and it's nice to just kind of get the week started so we go into the week with a clear vision of what we want and where we're headed. But tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We are actually going to have a little bit more of a training than we typically do on Sunday nights. But what I think will be fun is if you have this on a computer and you have your phone, you'll be able to work alongside us as we learn and create Instagram stories. So we have a rock star distributor who's going to, excuse me, they're giving me notifications. Hey. So yes, we have a rock star distributor who's going to share with us how to create Instagram stories that take us somewhere. Because if you're anything like me, it's very easy just to post randomly, or it's very easy to just post one. And what we're learning is that Instagram stories is an amazing place to build connection, build trust, close the sale, provide information on what we have. I mean, it really is a great place to build rapport and share. So, Miss Hannah, are you here?
I am here. Hello.
Yay! All right, I don't see you. Let me oh, there you are. Okay, let me turn speaker view. Cool. All right, well, Hannah, before we jump into the training, would you mind sharing a bit about your story and how long you've been with It Works, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I signed up 2 years and like 2 months ago. I was kind of slow to get going. It took me an entire year and a half to go Ruby, but now I promoted to Emerald last month, which was right after conference, and I'm going to promote to Diamond maybe past this month, 2 months after conference. So conference is totally life-changing. But right now I'm working 3 jobs. I teach dance at 2 different studios. I work at a tanning salon, and I'm rocking this business still. So people that say they don't have time, I'm just you don't have time? Are you kidding me? I'm also in grad school, so I'm doing a lot with my life, but I still have time for this business, and it's definitely a priority for me, so I make sure that I get this business done.
Awesome. Awesome. So what do you think was the game changer for the year and a half where you were just kind of dabbling and treating it like a hobby versus when you really started promoting and taking it seriously?
I think that I finally stopped caring what people thought of me. I think I was being too oh my gosh, I don't want people to see these posts. What if they think I'm weird or whatever? I was so self-conscious about what I was posting before. And then I was kind of just you know what? Honestly, who cares? If I'm going to be making money with this business, why should I care? So then I started posting more and reaching out more and talking to more people. And I think that's honestly what changes for me is just reaching out more and posting more and not being so self-conscious.
Aw, that's awesome. Now, one question I have is, what kept you in the game during the year and a half?
So I knew that this business could do a lot for me. I had seen my leaders progress up the ladder kind of, and I'm okay, they're making this happen. It's taking them some time too, but this could be me. If I stick with this, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to be one of those people that quits after not doing well, because I know if you stick with this business, you're going to be successful in it. You just have to stick with it. You can't give up right away.
So you were still watching. You were watching Facebook. You were watching stories. You were still plugging in. You were learning. So in the back of your head, you were what if I really jumped in?
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely what happened in my head.
Awesome. Awesome. And now, since conference, congratulations on your promotion. And promotions, right?
Yes,
yes. And you've been using Instagram and Instagram stories quite a bit to reach out, build, and develop your network.
Yeah, I think that stories on Instagram is the best way to use Instagram. I don't really have success doing anything else on Instagram, honestly. Stories is kind of the way to go, and that's where you're going to get the most people, because people like answering polls too. people love responding to polls. Like, they love voicing their opinion on stuff. So that's just something that people like in general. And it's easier to get people to read your story than go to your page and like a bunch of your pictures. So
Yep, absolutely. All right. So why don't you tell us first a bit about how you craft a story? Like, is it just one post? Is it 4 posts? What do you do to like educate? And then we'll get into the technicalities of what apps to use and how to make them be beautiful and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I normally will do 2 posts like that. They're like the same, but 2 in a row. So one's going to be like giving more information about a product, and then the second one is going to be a poll. I always do a poll because that's the way to get people to engage with your stuff. So the first one, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this weight loss coffee tastes so good, or like something like that. And then the next one will be my poll with that same exact picture, but then I add the poll on so they can see that picture longer. And then I add the poll saying, who wants to lose weight drinking coffee? And then your 2 answers, one is never a no. They are always both a yes, a type of yes, because you don't want anyone to say no to you ever. So you either say like absolutely or details please for your 2 poll responses. So you get a yes no matter what for people who are responding to your polls. But definitely 2 pictures. I think that's enough time for people to see the product and answer your poll too. So I don't do any more than that. And then I would only do 1 poll a day because people don't want to like answer multiple polls a day on your story. Like, that's kind of annoying for them. So only like 1 in a 24-hour period so that it expires and then you can make a new one.
Okay, so you use the same picture and just add a poll.
Yep. So I'll like say something about it on the first picture, and then I'll save that picture with whatever I added on it, and then I'll add the poll in the next one. So it's like they're looking at the same thing, and all of a sudden a poll pops up once they are done reading it.
Right. Yeah, I love that because then they have a bit longer to read the details. You can make it a really good one and know they'll have 30 seconds to read it. Okay, cool. Tell me more. When they do vote, what do you do?
So when they vote, I will send them the same exact message no matter what they say, because both are answers like giving you a yes answer. So there's no sense in creating a different message. You might as well choose the same one. So if it's like, yes, sign me up, or details, please, you're going to say, hi, thank you so much for responding to my poll about my weight loss coffee. Did you want some more information? Like, short and sweet. People on Instagram, they do not want to read a novel in their DMs. They like it short and simple. Like, no one wants to read this whole page of information. So keep it short and sweet. And I send that same exact message to both people that say yes, please, and details. Like, you still want to ask them if they want more information. So, yeah.
So I love that because we for follow up, right? It's like 2 or 3 sentences and a question. Because you want them to feel like they have to respond. Like, it'd be so rude if they didn't. So end in a question, just a couple sentences. Because again, if they see a big long thing, they're going to immediately go sale. They're not even going to read it. So you want it to be conversational. Awesome. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so I make sure that I add like cool like Instagram stuff on it too when I'm editing them, because people like those little Instagram like filter stuff, like the little like stickers that you can put on too. I think those are super fun because people are like, oh, this is so cute and like girly and whatever. I don't know, I'm young, so maybe that's just why. But I think like making it look like not a sales ad, like make it look like fun and something that you're actually into. Don't make it look like you're trying to sell someone something, because they're not going to care then. If you make it look presentable and cute, like they're gonna be like, oh, this looks cute, I want to add this into my life because it's something that's cute. Like, people like that kind of stuff.
Are you using hashtags in your polls? Or in your stories?
I do not use hashtags in my stories. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it if you do. I just don't think it's going to give you any extra like people on it. So I like to give my stories to my followers because they're people that I'm usually following and they follow me back, which is people that I want in my network. So
this is an interesting thing. I normally get like, I'm learning Instagram, right? So like, who knows what's good or bad, but I normally get 200 or 300 people watching stories. When I hashtag keto coffee, keto energy, and I'll make them really, really small so you can't see them. Like, I'll just like shrink it down and like they call it hidden hashtags. It'll go up to 1,000. Isn't that
my gosh.
I know.
Wow. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to try that then.
And it doesn't really do it with any other hashtags. Like if I do like boss babe or like boy mom or something like that, like it doesn't really change. But with keto, it seems to jump a ton.
I think that's because keto is such a hot topic right now, and people are like looking on Instagram and anywhere else for people doing keto diets, people doing keto recipes, stuff like that. That's probably why keto is like a good hashtag for that. But
people are searching keto. They're not necessarily searching like boy mom.
Right.
So what happens, Tori asked, what do you mean shrunken hashtag? So you write it, but then you can like make it bigger or smaller. Yeah. By like doing that with your fingers. So I just make it really small. That way I can put a bunch of hashtags and it doesn't look like it's a bunch of hashtags. So I make them really small and then I kind of hide them, and you can hide them under a GIF, or you can hide them under your poll, or you can hide them so that way they're not like on your story. People can't necessarily see them.
Yeah. And yeah.
So are you still posting on Instagram page? You just doing polls?
Like, I don't know if this is bad, but I barely post on my Instagram, but I don't think it's a problem because people still are responding to my polls and my stories. So I'll post a selfie like once a week on my Instagram page just so people know I'm active, but that's about it. I don't post about the business period on my Instagram because people don't want to follow that. Like, honestly, people don't want to follow someone who's trying to sell them something. Like, they're going to go to your page and be like, I'm not going to follow her. But if you sneak it into your story once they're already following you and you make the story look cute and stuff, not a sales ad, like, they're going to keep responding to it and they're not going to unfollow you for that. So I think like posting a selfie once a week is sufficient for me, at least, to keep my page up and running.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. People aren't necessarily searching, like, you want your page, your front page to look good. You want it to be a good representation of you. It's kind of like a little website where people can like get to know you pretty quick. But I agree that being active isn't as important as having a good page for people to look at, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what apps do you use for your stories?
Okay, so I use this crazy app. It's called Phonto, Phonto. And honestly, I could do a whole entire hour of training on it because it is so complex and you can do so much with like how you change the text. Like, it takes me 5 minutes to edit a picture on it, but it's really hard to get to know it because it's kind of a complex app and it does a whole lot of stuff on it. But that's what I made I made my picture for this training, Hannah Marissa story training, on that app. And it's super cool. Like, you can do like all the gradient fonts and change your fonts and download fonts from like dafont.com. That's where I get all my fonts from. And then you can add like borders, backdrops, a background, like a clear background. You can do so much on that app and it makes really pretty pictures. And it's like, wow, this is a really professional looking picture. Like, I'm going to keep looking at this story because it looks so cool. So I use that app a lot.
Downloading right now.
Yes!
It was funny. So, I've been in this business 12 years, right? So when we started, there was no Facebook. We did all belly to belly and expos and phone calls and parties and things. And then when Facebook came, we did a lot of Google as well. So if you search It Works, like, we'll pop up because that was all we had. And then Facebook came, and then we had to learn Facebook. And then, Instagram came, and we were like, oh my gosh, how many brain cells do I have? And then we're like, all right, we have to learn this. And you always are evolving in this business. And I remember 3 years ago, we learned word swag, right? Word swag. If you guys don't have that, you probably should at some point. But that even, like, I figured out how to learn that. And then 3 years later, that's like so old news. So we do need to continue to evolve. We need to learn. We need to try new things and learn this stuff because things change so fast. So what other apps do you use?
I honestly just use Phonto, and I use PicsArt to edit my selfies because PicsArt is a great app for that.
PicsArt for editing selfies. And then you also said you download fonts. Tell us, if somebody's has no idea what that means, what does that mean?
Okay, so into the Phonto app, just have it download. That's all I need to do first. And then if you go to dafont.com, DAFONT.com, you can search the different categories pop up, like script, like sans serif, like block text, like fancy text, whatever, or you can search specific things on it. And then all you do is on that, the font that you want, you click download, and it gives you an option to download it to Phonto. And then it's going to put it into your Phonto library, and then you can use that font because no one wants to look at a story with Times New Roman font. That's ugly and boring and looks like a 5-year-old made it, right? So you want to get these cool fonts from Dafont, which they have everything under the sun. If you can't find a font you like, they're you don't need a font then. So I download them all from there, and then once it's on my app, I have 100 at least of different fonts that I use. So I'll pick a different one each time and use that, and then I'll make it all pretty with different colors and a gradient and a background and a backdrop so it pops off the picture and stuff like that.
What are some good tips for creating a good story? Like how much text should be on there? Do you have like 3 points? Do you use, if you guys don't know, where's the website that you can get, what's it called? Stock images? Where it's like a beautiful picture of legs and a coffee cup, you know, and you post it like it's you, but it's not you. It's a stock image.
Yeah, I just go to Pinterest or Google to get like all my pictures, which is fine. They have plenty there.
Okay.
But yeah, so I will put like a small, like I'm talking 4 or 5 words max, like a blurb about the product, like short and sweet. People like that story on Instagram, you can't change the length of it. Like it's just short. Like that's all it is. People do not have time to read it either. Like it's so fast. So I'll say a little bit about it. Then I'll add like a sticker or something from the Instagram editing thing. And then on the next page, I'll add my poll, which is like a very short sentence, like 7 words, and then, or question rather, and then 2 answers to it. So I only do like 1 pretty text, like statement about the product, I guess. And then like a sticker from Instagram. That's all I would do.
And then how often do you go live on your stories?
I do not go live on my stories. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just haven't done it myself. If I go live, I usually do it on Facebook because I think I have a better following on Facebook almost. I have a lot of followers on Instagram, but I think that my people on Facebook are better. So I usually only go live on Facebook if I'm going to go live.
Okay. Do you do the Facebook or do you ever go talk to Instagram stories? Like maybe it's not going like live on Instagram, but you talk, you know what I mean?
Oh, like a video of it?
Yeah.
No, I only do stories or like polls on stories. I think that is honestly like the best way to get people on Instagram because I see a lot of people that do live videos on Instagram and when I see them in my stories, like I just skip through them because I don't know about Instagram. I just feel like it's just like people blabbing about their lives and like it's nothing important on Instagram. Not saying that they're not doing anything important or anything, but I think that like when people go live on Facebook, they actually have a good purpose for it. And when people go live on Instagram, it's just like, oh, here I am. Hi, let's talk to me. I'm bored. Like maybe that's also my age bracket too. I don't know. That definitely probably has something to do with it. But I feel like Facebook has more like a reason to go live on.
So how many so do you only have 2 stories per day?
Yeah, I would not do it again in like within the 24-hour period because if I'm only doing a poll, like I don't want more than 1 poll per 24 hours and that's when they like expire. But you can always go back and look at your old polls if you forgot to follow up with people, which is a good thing because people are like, oh my gosh, my poll expired and I didn't follow up with everyone, but it's on your Instagram, like your personal page on like your archive. You can like pull that up still and follow up.
So do you feel like your people are getting to know you if you're posting 2 stories a day?
No, honestly, probably not. But I do feel that Instagram is very different from Facebook in that sense. Like on Instagram, people really only care about followers and likes. And that's about it. They really don't care about who you are. Like I'm not trying to hurt my own feelings or anything, but no one cares about who I am. Like they're going to care about me if I like their stuff and if I follow them. That's about it. So when I'm going to message someone on Instagram, I make sure I follow them if I'm not already. I spam their page with 10, 20 likes, and then I will send them a message. So they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like this girl's actually supporting my Instagram page. Maybe I'll message her back. But like, honestly, people don't really care about who you are if you're talking to them. Like you can talk to them and it's not weird if you're like cold messaging on Instagram because they really only care about your likes if you're liking their stuff and if you're following them. Like Instagram is so different from Facebook in that way. Like I wouldn't cold message on Facebook. Like that's weird. Like you want to know someone on there. And I think that comes from like the friend limit on Facebook too. Like you can only have so many friends, but on Instagram, like I've got 11,000 followers. There's no way I'm ever going to like talk to all of them, but like no one cares either. Like if you like their stuff and if you follow them and interact on their pages, whatever, like that's all they care about.
Okay, so you're doing 2, like 1 story and then 1 poll a day. So 2 things a day are going through, and then you're changing that every day. So every day they're seeing something new. Do you always do a business post or a product post with a poll, or do you ever sprinkle anything else in there?
I mean, sometimes I'll do other stuff. Like I take dance classes at the Star in Frisco. So like that's my Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders prep class. So like I'll sometimes post about like being in the studio or whatever. Like I'll put that on my story too. Cause like that's something cool that people like that's like, oh my gosh, she's like dancing with all these like cheerleaders. Like that's so cool. So I'll post that kind of stuff too. But other than that, it's really only like my business and like my dance life, because the dance life is like my cool side of myself. And then otherwise I just post about the business.
So how do you grow your following? You said you do a lot of liking and engaging on other pages. Tell me a bit about how you do that.
Yeah. So my page, like I said, is basically all selfies. So I find other girls who are around my age and post basically all selfies, because that's like a similar page to me. And what I'll do is I will go to their most recent picture that they post. Like, you got to do this like the day they post. Like, you cannot be slacking on this. Like, it has to be like pretty soon after they post it. And you're going to go to their likes on that picture, and you're going to follow everyone who liked it. So like, there's a couple girls that I do this to like constantly, and I probably follow every single person that follows them, because I always like all their people, or follow all the people who like their pictures. So that's how I get all my followers, is by following people who interact on pages that are similar to mine, because they're most likely to interact on my pages. If they like that girl, they're most likely to like me. So they're going to follow me back and like on my stuff too. And I wouldn't follow people who I see in their followers list, because you don't know if they're active. Like, you have no idea if that account's 3 years old or whatever. So I only follow people who are actively liking on people's pictures.
Oh, smart. Okay. So if they actively liked it, then you know they're on Instagram today.
Yes. And
Okay.
people are kind of, okay, don't ever buy likes or followers. Like, you might think that's cool to boost your numbers, but it does nothing for your engagement or anything. It doesn't help you in any way. However, I know that some of the girls I follow do buy likes, because sometimes if you're too late to get on their post, like, you'll see a stream of like people that have like random letter usernames and no pictures for their profile picture. Obviously, you don't want to follow them because they're fake accounts. So if you get to their pictures right when they post them, like, even turn on their post notifications, whatever you got to do. Like, those are actually real people liking them right away. Like, they don't have time to buy likes the same second. They're going to do that a few hours or maybe a day later. But if you get to those posts right away, you're actually following real people. So you don't have to be worried about that. But I know people are sneaky and people do that. Like, whatever, that's their own business. But I mean, don't do that yourself.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes. Super true. All right. Let me look at this. Stacy says Snapchat to IG story is awesome. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. You can link those?
Can you?
Do you link, or you save it? You save it from Snapchat and then upload to Instagram probably, because then you can use filters and stuff. But then, yeah, export the net. Okay, so you can go to Snapchat, download it, and then upload it to Instagram. Sometimes it will allow me to go from my Instagram story to Facebook, so it will like link the two, but it doesn't always. Do you do that?
So I don't, because I think it lowers your engagement because it's the same post. Like, you never want to post the same thing on two different platforms, because Facebook owns Instagram. So whatever you're doing on one of those apps, if they see you doing it the same on the other app, like, it's going to get shown to less people, because you're just copying from yourself. Like, they want to see original content. They don't want to see you stealing from someone else, even if it's yourself, you know? So I don't ever do the share thing, because I think that is lowering your engagement by like keeping it the same. Like, if I want to post like a similar thing on both platforms, I'm going to post the same picture probably, maybe add a different filter, but I'm going to change up the words for it at least, because I want Facebook and Instagram to see them both as original content.
Okay. How many people if you guys have any questions, put them in the chats below. If you also have any Instagram tips, put them in the chats below. Any apps or filters that are, apps that you use. Like, I know people talk a lot about the Unfold app and the Over app. Those are like big apps right now that I need. And if you don't know how to use them, like I don't, I would go to Google or YouTube and watch tutorials. Like, you really can learn so much. So don't feel like you don't know how to do it, because none of us know how to do it until we watch a tutorial.
Yeah.
So Unfold, Over are good ones. Okay, so keep going. Tell us a little bit. So tell me more about how many people do you follow a day? Do you have like goals for that?
So I don't really have goals for it. It's kind of more like based on the people that I follow and I steal their followers from, you know, if they're posting or not. Because if they're not posting, I'm not gonna go to some random person's page that has nothing in common with me and follow their followers. Like, I feel like that's just not gonna do anything for me. So, but if these girls are posting selfies, and I mean, I've got a bunch of these girls. I'm in like a group chat with them all too. So like, we probably are all stealing from each other, which is fine. But if they are posting stuff, I'm gonna get from their followers and follow like basically everyone that likes their new pictures, because like they get likes pretty fast, you know, so it's easy to get a lot of followers then. But you also have to be careful if you're following too many, because on Instagram, when you're on someone's picture and you're following, it'll show you that, like, it'll say, yes, you followed them, and it'll show that you have followed all of them. But then if you go off the picture and you go back in the picture and click the likes again, and you scroll down, you're like, I thought I just followed all these people. Why are they not followed anymore? Because actually you hit your limit. So you can only follow so many people in a set amount of time. Like, it says you follow them when you do it, but then if you go back out and back in, then all of a sudden you're not following them anymore because it didn't actually follow them. So you have to be super careful of that. And like, once you hit that limit, like, you got to stop for a while. Like, don't keep trying, because it's going to keep doing the same thing. Like, oh, it looks like I'm following them, but then you actually didn't follow them. So you have to be super careful about that.
How many is your limit?
I don't know the exact number. It's just like, I keep checking like back and forth about if they're staying my followers or not. But then like, I do always get to that point where it says like, or where it says like you're following them, but then you're actually not. So okay. I would say like, probably don't push it over 100 at a time, because that's probably where it stops, is around that 100 mark.
Okay. A couple more questions and then we can move on. But so are you in a group message with all of these other Instagram friends, and then you like each other's posts when you post?
Yeah. So we have,
again, I'm in one too. It's a pod. It's called a pod. That's what my friends call it.
Yeah. Basically we're like, okay, we have a new photo up, and then like, literally like, this is it. Like, this girl says, I don't know if you can see that, but she says new, and like, we go like each other's pictures. So if you post something new, like, you get a bunch of likes right away from it. And you know when these people are posting, so you know then, oh, I gotta go follow her. People are liking it. So you know right away too. And they're all like similar pages to me. Like, they're all girls around my age.
How did you find them?
Stuff. Okay, long story short, I have this Instagram contest page. It's like the biggest Instagram contest page that is on Instagram. I just got lucky with it, like making it. I got super lucky and it just rose to the top. So basically it's like, people enter your contest, like best mirror selfie or whatever, and like, it's all these girls who want to be like, you know, models or whatever. So they're really pretty, they have a lot of followers, they post a lot of selfies. So like, they all follow me because I'm the owner of the page, and then I follow them if I like their stuff and if they're always in my contest. And then like, we get to be friends, keep talking, blah blah, and then you kind of make a group chat with them. So I just got lucky. I don't know how people would do it otherwise, but it was just luck for me.
So I joined a business mentorship group. And there's a lot of ways, even as a team, we can do this as well. And so what we did through this business group, we were all on a Facebook message, and we just like decided to group into pods. So what that basically means is you get in a group message on Instagram, so a DM, and then anytime somebody posts, they say post, so then you can go quickly like it. So everybody in this pod is supporting each other. It's kind of like a like ladder in the old days, if you are older like me. It's like the old day like ladder, but you go and you support each other. So then that way you all are, but I've never thought to go or go follow their people. I've never thought about that. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, they're like posting the same kind of content as you, so it's good to get the same kind of followers from their page following you too. Okay, so let's see. More follow tips. So it sounds like Hannah is following people that are following. She's following people that are liking and engaging in other people's posts. So if you go to Gary V, or other people that you like, you can engage and follow people that also liked them. The idea is that you're picking people that resonate with you, whoever that is. And you can go and follow the people that are liking and engaging on that page. Mm-hmm. Let's see. It says, so any more follow-up tips? I think that's it. Make sure you go through and like unfollow people regularly. I use this app called Cleaner for people who don't follow me back, because you don't want to follow a bunch of people who aren't following you back, because that's just lame. Like, they're never going to see your stuff if they're not following you back, so there's no sense in following them. So always unfollow people who don't follow you back, even if that sounds kind of crappy, but I mean, Instagram is Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. No, I've done that too, and it's helpful. Hold on. Let me make sure everyone's muted. Here's some stuff. Okay. And then why would people delete their likes? I'm not sure what that means, but. Do you know what that means?
I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, Nikki, I'm not sure what that means either. If you want to elaborate. How do we grab people's attention with posts? So you can talk Facebook or you can talk Instagram story, but what works better to really grab attention? Are you focusing on the same products or different?
I would definitely focus on like different products, but cycle through them, because if you only talk about a product one time and don't ever talk about it again, people aren't gonna like want it. But if they see it multiple times, like, wow, this is probably actually a really good product if she keeps talking about it. And you want to make it not look like an ad. Like I said, do not make it look like you're trying to sell someone something ever, and make it look flashy and pretty. Like, make it grab someone's attention in a way that's like colorful and has good lighting and is quality, like looks good quality, like you edited it well. So people are going to want to like keep looking at it. I mean, you don't want to like slap on a crappy font, black text across your whole face and like, buy my product. Like, that's not good. Like, that would be terrible. You want to use a pretty font, pretty text, pretty colors, good quality pictures, good lighting, and all that stuff to keep people like to keep looking at your stuff.
So what's interesting, you guys, is that people want authentic, but they also want professional. Like, it's interesting. They want real. They want beautiful real. So yes. It's like you need to post good pictures, which means you need to take good pictures, which means you kind of have to take a photo shoot, even if it's in your own house. Like, do your hair one time, go to find good spots that have good lighting.
Outside is the best.
We do team photo shoots sometimes. So people will come over and we'll go outside and we'll all take pictures of each other with our phones. You take some with your phone, you take some without your phone. You know what I mean? So then they're not all selfies and you really can just have a bunch of pictures. We're going on the cruise in a few weeks, and like a quarter of the reason I'm excited to go, like there's a lot of reasons I'm excited, but one of them is because we're going to get so many good pictures that then we can use for the next 3 months. So be really thoughtful about that and just play around. Lightroom is good. I've used presets on Lightroom before. A preset is just basically a folder or a filter that makes your pictures look the same. So it's like the same filter every time. So then your page has a similar look and feel. I'm not very techie. I'm not like a photographer by any means. And Lightroom was fairly easy for me to use. Once I uploaded the presets, I could do that. Stacy's giving us some ideas. Pick, tap, go, crispy filter. I've not looked at that. Crispity. I'll try that next. We bought presets. You can do them on Etsy and then upload them to Lightroom. Those are good. Yeah, pick, tap, go. All right, let me look some more. So Nikki's saying that sometimes with her followers, you can see who unfollows you, and sometimes they delete their like from your photo. So they liked it, and then they went back and unliked it.
Sometimes, I don't know if this is true for always, but sometimes people do delete their accounts, like especially if it's just like a temporary account. So anything that they liked with that account gets erased too. So like, or people that, you know, buy likes, if those accounts get deleted, they lose all those likes too. And it looks like you just dropped a bunch of likes because like the accounts are gone. So there's nothing to like the account. So I don't know if that's always true. I mean, I wouldn't, if I'm unfollowing someone, I'm not going to go unlike their pictures. I think that is very time consuming, but I think it's more so if that account gets deleted that would happen to you.
Do you use your Instagram insights? And tell us a bit more about how that works.
Okay. No, I do not have my business page on my Instagram because I don't really want people like emailing me or calling me or anything. So I don't have insights on it, which I mean, that's probably bad, but I feel like I'm handling it pretty well with how I use my stories and everything, and I keep track and I message people, and you can always go to your archives to see who is responding to your polls. So, I mean, it's not like I'm losing out on anyone ever, but I know that people that do use insights, it's been helpful for them. So nothing against it. Like, I do think it's probably a really good feature to use. I just have not put it on my page yet.
This is so, I never look at this stuff. It's so interesting. Okay, so I follow this girl named Sunny Lunan. I don't know how to say her last name. She's basically a YouTube expert. So I follow her to learn how to search keywords on YouTube and create content that people are searching for and stuff like that. And she just did one on Instagram as well. And she suggested she said that she used When to Post. So it's an app called When to Post, and it takes all of your insights and it says when your people are the most active, and that way you post. She said to the minute. She's like, I did it before, I did it after, I did it half an hour after, and she said she got the most engagement when she did it exactly when they told her to. And then she also, so I learned this by watching that video too. You can take your, let me see, what do? You take your, okay. So you take your, if you guys can see my thing, you take your picture and you press this little arrow to send, and you can send it to your own story. So you take your post and you can send it to your story. And then basically the goal is that you're sending people down to your wall to check you out and see your long caption. So anytime you post, you can also post it in your story just to drive traffic back and forth. Anytime you post on Facebook, if you go live, like sometimes I'll go live on Facebook and then also put it in my Instagram story. And when I posted my YouTube channel, normally I forget about Instagram, but I did a video on YouTube and then I posted it in a bunch of groups on Facebook, and then I posted it on my fan page, and then I put it on my Instagram stories, and that YouTube video got way more likes or way more watches or whatever. So it's very interesting how when you can kind of combine the two, because they're not always following you everywhere. So if you do something cool on Facebook, then take a screenshot of your live and post it on your Instagram too, and try to get cross traffic.
Yes, I like that a lot.
But I have an Android, and this When to Post app, I don't even think I have it. Like, I don't know if it's the same one that she has. It makes me very sad. Okay, a couple other questions. So engagement pods. So then do engagement pods hurt your algorithm?
I don't think so. I mean, there's only like 15 of us in there. So, I mean, I get more than 15 likes on a picture. So I don't think that's really hurting me. I can see where that would hurt you on Facebook more so, because if you're having all of your It Works people like your It Works posts, then believe it or not, like your It Works posts are only going to get shown to your It Works people. But on Instagram, I think it's a more broad group, and it's like I don't have any It Works people on my Instagram, like at least not that I'm trying to do on purpose at least. So like it's these random girls from other cities, other states, so they're all over the place. They're not like saturated or anything, and I don't think it's hurting your algorithm at all on Instagram at least. But yeah, definitely Facebook would be a problem if you're doing it with business people, but on Instagram I think it's fine.
Well, and I've heard too, that's why you in your chat you just like do an emoji, or you say, you don't say like, please go like my post right now.
Yeah, we usually just say like new, and then people go like it in that group. So we don't even like say anything like, yeah, I liked it or anything. You do it because that's what they're doing to you.
Yeah. Do you use Captivate?
I do not use Captivate. I think that's for following and unfollowing.
Yes.
Yeah, I use this app called Cleaner. I think it's really easy, and it loads everyone who like doesn't follow you back, and you can like click like a start point and an end point, so you can like unfollow like 100 people in like a snap. So I use Cleaner. I mean, Captivate probably does the same thing, but I have one that works for me.
What's a good ratio for followers to following?
You definitely want to have more followers than you're following, because it looks kind of crappy if you're following 1 million people and you only have like 100 followers. So right now I think I'm following way too many people. I have to go on a huge unfollow spree, because I have 11,000 followers, but I'm following 4,000. So I think that's too many. I would like to be down to like only following 2,000, which means like you're probably gonna have to unfollow some people that are following you. However, some of those people that you've been following are probably not active anymore. So it doesn't really matter at that point. Like you're constantly getting new followers and new accounts. Like a lot of accounts on Instagram like go dead. So I would have to like go through and actually like figure out who's like not posting a hot minute and then unfollow those people, because it's not going to hurt me. They're probably not going to unfollow me anyways. They're not even on Instagram. So yeah, but definitely more followers than who you're following.
Let's see. Yeah, I had 12,000 followers and like 7,000 following because I was like, follow.
Yeah.
But Brandon was like, no, that's embarrassing. So I got the unfollow app and I've been unfollowing 50 at a time for like weeks. And I got it back down to 4,000. But I'm just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
But I know some people, you guys, that like really are following and unfollowing, like, and being intentional about it, really can grow their numbers quickly. It's really kind of crazy.
Yeah, just make sure that after you follow people, you give them like a day or two to follow you back. Like, don't start unfollowing right away. Like, give yourself a 2-day rest period before you start unfollowing, because that way people that you followed have time to catch up and go to their Instagram and follow you back before you unfollow them, and they never even saw you followed them in the first place. So I definitely would take a break on following if I'm going to unfollow, so that way I don't lose out on anyone.
Right. Cool. So how many customers have you signed up like consistently using polls?
Using polls. Yeah, I think a lot more customers using polls on Instagram than anything else on Instagram. I don't know how many, but I've also got distributors from polls on Instagram too, which is kind of cool because you don't really think like Instagram, you're not going to find business people, but actually you do, because they want to do it just as much. And like people that sign up on Instagram definitely use Instagram more than they would use Facebook, because they're like talking to you on Instagram. Like that's actually their platform, which is great. Like you want to have people working Instagram, so that's totally fine. But yeah, just make sure that you are talking to them in a different way than you do on Facebook, because like you don't know these people on Instagram. Like you have probably no connections with them. Like on Facebook, you have mutual friends. Like there's some kind of common link between you guys on Facebook, but on Instagram, like you want to make sure like you're being friendly with them. You're being super nice to them. You don't know who they are. So get to know them too, and make it more complimenting on Instagram, because people like to get compliments, and then they're going to be more likely to try your products or sign up with you because they're like, wow, this girl's like actually really having fun with this and I like talking to her, so I want to do this too.
Cool. Yeah. So I've, been learning a lot about social media training. You guys can go to YouTube, you can search podcasts. There's a lot of people who teach how to grow on social media. So you can follow them, learn from them, whatever. And so I have a podcast that I listen to consistently. And one of the things she was saying is that it really is all about time spent with you. So if you think about people watching your live on Facebook, they get to like, know, and trust you. People watching your stories, they get to like, know, and trust you. People, if they're reading an email, it's like 11 seconds. If they're seeing a post, it's like 3 seconds. So we want to create content where people are spending time with us. That's why I started a podcast. That's why I go live. That's why because I want people to feel like they're getting to know me. So when they think about It Works, or when they think about X, Y, and Z, they think of me, right? And the way that you build that like, know, and trust factor is by creating a space for people to kind of deepen that relationship with you. And that's where the stories can really be helpful. And that's where like the long content, that's where long captions can be helpful. That's where, you really can show your personality because you want people to spend time with you. So the girl that was giving this example used to make YouTube videos that were 20, 30 minutes, and she did it for 3 years. So she's like, I was doing YouTube every day. People felt like they were my friend. And she's like, I didn't even have to talk about my business because they were constantly asking me if they could work with me. So you just think about what are some ways that you really can like get people to know you better. And stories can be a really fun way. Of course, lives, of course, Facebook, of course, it all. But it's just interesting to think about. Sales is a lot of times equal to time. Like how deep do they really know you? Because, they're going to connect with you on some level. So you want to build as many bridges to that connection as possible. Oh, one other question I had. I went to your thing, and by the way, the unfollow app, you follow 50 and then it will not let you unfollow anymore for 30 minutes. So,
That's good. So you don't get blocked from that.
Yeah, it has a timer. So for you say spam to follow on your thing. What does that mean?
Oh, so I like if people spam me with likes, like they go through and like a bunch of pictures of mine, I'll follow them back. So like, cause I'll see them on my notifications, which gets them to interact on your page more and gives you more likes. So that's kind of cool. And then in return, you follow them. So I have that in my banner.
Cool. I did not know what that meant.
Yeah. People, I don't know. That might be like one of my age things too. Like people like my age, like are like, ooh, this girl's gonna follow me back. So yeah.
That's so funny. Cool. All right, keep going, guys. What other questions do you have for Miss Hannah?
Also on Instagram, don't let people forget about you. Like if they responded to your poll, that means they actually wanted something. Like they didn't accidentally click this button. Like it's kind of impossible to just click a button like right in that specific spot. So I make sure like if I message them and they ignore me, I'm like, hey, how are you today? Like I'll like just bring up nice conversation. Like, oh my gosh, I saw your new picture about your dog. And then they like see my old post or my old message to them about my product. And then they might respond to it then. So don't let them forget about you. Like they responded to your poll for you to talk to them.
So do you still feel like you have to follow up with people consistently?
Yes, absolutely. It's no different from Facebook in that sense. Like you still need to make sure you're keeping in touch with them and don't let them forget who you are, because if you do, then you just lost a customer.
Do you use highlights?
Highlights? No. So I only click that button to go through my story archives to find my people that I like didn't follow up with right away because my story timed out and I didn't get to touch base with everyone. But I do not put highlights on my on my Instagram because I think it would literally only be business stuff. And again, I don't want my page to look like a sales ad, so I don't use the highlights because most of my stories are about my business.
Got it. Let's see. Do you do anything specifically to get on the Explorer page?
That would just be like using hashtags and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna start using that hashtag keto thing on my pictures.
Yeah, it's interesting when you think of like creating content that that engages conversation. So, you know, asking a question in your poll so people engage with you, whether it's, do you want to try it? Or, what's your favorite season, spring or summer, or summer or winter, or, things like that where people engage with you, because when they engage with you, does it go straight to your, when they respond to your story, it goes straight to your DMs, right? Like I get messages in my DMs.
Does it? I just go back to my story and like click on the responses and I message them through that. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Amber just said, can you change the time? You cannot change the time on Instagram. That's why I do the whole 2-picture thing, so they at least see it longer than like the short 5 seconds or whatever that it is.
Do you use hashtags when you post or when like on your normal?
No, I mean, I don't really care about, I don't want to say I don't care about my feed or anything, but I don't think I've gotten any followers from using hashtags, so I think it's a waste of my time to come up with hashtags. I don't think people have ever followed me for putting hashtags when I used to do it, so I kind of just stopped doing that. I'm sure it's fine and there's some utility to it, but I haven't gotten anything good from using hashtags, so I think it just makes my posts look more spammy.
Okay, cool.
But that's a personal preference.
Yeah, no, you can't change the stories to how long does it take you to create your pictures?
If I'm using Fonto and I'm like working on it, I can do it in like 5 minutes because I know how to use the app like blindfolded. So super easy to make really good quality pictures on Fonto, and that's super quick. And then so posting that and then adding the story is just like another minute to like type up your question and then your responses. So like it doesn't take very long to use Instagram stories. It's pretty quick if you know how to use the app that you're using.
Okay.
But if you're trying to like make it look super pretty and you haven't practiced that yet, it's going to take you longer because you're going to have to figure out how to use all the fonts and stuff.
And then once you do it, do you save them? So then like once you've got a story for each product, or maybe 2 stories for like the 5 hot products, you can just simply repost them.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I just make a new one every single time though, because I don't want to get like flagged for not original content or get showed to less people. I don't even want to risk that, and it doesn't take me long to do these stories, so there's no sense in me reusing a story when it's not taking me a great deal of time to make them. So I will just make a new one each time with a different picture. That way I also think people like maybe in their head, they like, wow, that one looks really pretty. If they didn't like the other one, like make it look different so you can like get different people to like your kind of stuff. So
right, because they're gonna. Now, one question: testimonies. Do you put testimonies in your story?
I do not put testimonies in my story. I think that looks like a sales ad, and it looks like you're trying to sell something to someone. So we use them a lot on Facebook. I personally don't use them either. I think like before and after pictures occasionally are okay, but I don't use that on my Instagram because I don't want to come off like, wow, look what this product did. Like, this could be you. Like, I feel like that is just so like spammy looking, or like, this girl lost 30 pounds. Look at her now. Like, I think that people are like, oh, she wants me to use this and this is what's going to happen to me. Like, it doesn't like fit with my vibe. Like, I don't know if that's weird or anything, but I just don't use that kind of stuff on my stories because I think that it just comes off too salesy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is people are going to connect with you. And so.
Yeah. And why would I post someone else's stuff on my story? Like, this is my Instagram page. Like, I want people to follow me for me, not for stuff I'm posting about someone else. Like, if they like me, they're going to like me. If they don't, then whatever. But I mean, I don't want them to like unfollow me for posting about someone else when I should be posting about myself. Like, that's what they want to see. That's why they followed me.
So do you post your testimonies?
So I don't really have many. Like, I'm really skinny as it is. I lost like 10 pounds when I signed as a customer, like my freshman 15 or whatever. But like, I'm just using the products to maintain my weight basically. And I had really long hair. I just chopped it off. So like, okay, chopped it off. It's like not even that short, but it's short for me. So I haven't used the hair skin nails because I don't want my hair any longer. Like, I use this stuff. Like, I have like mental testimony. Like, this stuff does so much good for my brain, but like, I can't show a picture of that. Like, people are gonna be like, oh, you're just like making stuff up. Like, no, I'm not. Like, I actually feel really good about myself. Like, I feel so much energy and like, I feel so focused, but like, I can't show a picture about that. So people kind of like, if I post it on my story, they're gonna be like, okay, like she's just bullshitting me or whatever. Sorry. But if I'm messaging them in my DMs, then I can actually get real with them and be like, so this is actually what it's done for me. Like, and then I'll tell them more about like how it's helped me. And like, that way it's more personal too. Like, you're not spamming them. Like, they're already talking to you. So you might as well talk about yourself and how it's changed you. But I wouldn't post that stuff on my story. I would only tell them that like personally after I've been talking to them.
Okay, cool. Cool. All right. Any other thoughts or questions for Miss Hannah? Do you get it ready at night or like get a few days ready at a time, or are you just doing it all?
I just do it all at once. Like, I usually will do my polls like evening hours because I know that's when my followers are the most active. Like my age group, like we're home from school, we're home from work at that time. Like, we're on social media around like the 7 to 9 p.m. time. So that's when I'm going to post most of my stuff just because I know that's when we're on social media most. So that's when I'll do it. I mean, it doesn't take me long, so I'll just do it right then and there.
Cool. Amber's final thought is, we love you.
I love you, Amber.
Thank you so much for your wisdom and your experience. We love learning from you. Let's give Hannah some love, you guys. And I think at the end of the day, okay, one last question, Maria. How many times do you post from 7 to 9?
Once. Just those 2 stories back to back usually. Or I'll post more on Facebook like twice in that time period, but yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is figure out your system. You know, figure out when your people are active, post then. I know people that will put a timer on their phone every day at this time. This is when they post, and it's consistent because we have to run our business like a business, and we're using a free service. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, those are all free to market ourselves and market our business. So we have to take it seriously and use it to our advantage. So be consistent, figure out what works for you, and figure out what your people need. But I've learned some things, Hannah. I'm going to play around with that app. I'm going to go to like my favorite people and start following people that they like, you know, like, oh my goodness, or who's liking them. Like, let's really take this and go for it. So here we go. Let's do this thing. Thank you, Hannah, so much. We're going to hop over.
Thank you so much for the call.
Yes, we love learning from you. And let's go get that double diamond, girl.
Woo! Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to hop over to Mark Pentecost call, right on his page for the 10 o'clock corporate call, and make some pictures while we're doing it. Bye, guys. Thank you. See ya.
Bye.